That's one of the biggest reasons why my retail business didn't survive, was because my happiness, health, and success weren't at that place where they needed to be. It was like, I need to pay rent this month. I need to make ends meet. I need to, versus me taking care of myself and then translating that energy into my customers.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who've turned their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbie Sluice, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started. Hey everyone, it's Deb Sluice. I am so excited to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Natalie Colalilo, and I've got a little bit of information about her that I want to share with you. She is the founder and CEO of Happy Healthy Women. Natalie thrives on building community. Her heart's calling lies in bringing amazing women together and empowering them to step into their greatness. Natalie is also the creator and coach behind the beautiful business program, helping women go from struggling solopreneur to flourishing CEO. Welcome, Natalie.
Thanks, Deb. I'm so glad that I could be on this podcast with you today.
Me too. And so this podcast is about introducing giant manifestors to the world. And so I consider you a giant manifester. So I'll just start off by saying, do you consider yourself a giant manifester?
I do, actually, and I'm glad that you see that too. I feel honored that you asked me to be a part of this. I absolutely do.
All right. And so I know a little bit about you in that you started off in MLM, right? Or network marketing, like company, that kind of like beauty products. Yeah, no?
Yeah, sort of. Well, like, you mean my entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, would you like me to tell my story?
I would.
All right.
Instead of me
So,
guessing.
yeah. I actually have been an entrepreneur. I always say that I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, because literally, like, grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. Was My parents were entrepreneurs when we were kids, and my brother and I were always encouraged to start businesses at a very young age. And so I did that. And throughout high school and university, I actually had a part-time business selling women's jewelry and accessories. And so in my later 20s, I opened up a retail store at Yonge and Eglinton here in Toronto, selling jewelry and accessories. And so that was sort of my first, I would call it, real business. Before that, I got into acting. I was in improv comedy. I had a theater company where we produced shows. But when I opened up my brick and mortar store is when I really, called that my first real business. And then I got into network marketing and health and wellness through a customer, actually. So yeah, my journey through entrepreneurship has been quite extensive. But yeah, here I am today.
Very cool. So, how is the bridge between selling jewelry and then creating communities for women? Like, tell us about how that happened and where's the bridge that
Where's the bridge?
between them? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I had my store, a customer, actually, who you may have met her this past weekend at our event, Allison, came into the shop, and uh, we got talking, and she shared her health and wellness business with me. And at the time, I was really interested in diving a little further into the health and wellness world. And Deb, as you know, being part of Happy Healthy Women, we really see happiness, health, and success as one full circle, right? I believe it's possible to be successful financially without having your health, but I don't believe you are fulfilled when when you're not in optimal health and when you're not feeling happy, and when you're not successful. I believe those three things are one. So at the time, I wasn't really paying attention to myself. And what I knew I needed was to start feeling better in order for my business to start thriving. So I was introduced to this health and wellness company, and it was very, very heavily reliant on personal growth and development. That was the whole thing that was fueling it. So that's when I got introduced to Tony Robbins. I went to see him live in Vegas. That's when I got introduced to Bob Proctor. That's when I started to really dive into the world of personal growth and development. And then within that process, I thought, okay, in my networking efforts, I'm really not meeting people that see life and the world the same way as I do. And I really want to start meeting women who see these things as one full circle. And so that's when I started Happy Healthy Women. And actually, I was in a rock bottom place in my life at that time. My retail business had failed spectacularly, thankfully, because I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen. But, I just started to bring women together in the name of happiness, health, and success. And over 12 years, so that was 12 years ago, over 12 years, we have built this beautiful company as a result. So that's sort of how that happened. But everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I love that. I didn't know that about your retail business. And thank you for sharing that. And I think there's probably many people listening who have had, as you said, spectacular failures and but it's our response that makes the difference on the
Hmm.
outcome. So E plus R equals O is what Jack Canfield talks about. E is the event, R is the response, and O is the outcome. But it's the R that makes all the difference to our O, our outcome. And so your response, so what I'm hearing you say is that your response was, hey, I'm going to build a community. I'm going to surround myself with like-minded women. Like,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
extraordinary.
absolutely.
That's extraordinary. And so thinking about this group of women, what surprised you? I know with my company, I had a vision and I wanted to create something, and then things kind of popped out and surprised me in a good way. But maybe there's some surprises
Mhm.
that were not so good because we learn sometimes best from those lessons too. But as you were building this beautiful Happy Healthy Women network, what were some of the surprises?
I think when I first started building it, I thought to myself, this is what I need, right? Like it came from a place of I really want to start meeting women in a more authentic way, right? And it all really started from this place of networking is so sometimes awkward and it feels like very transactional. And so I thought I just want to start meeting women who are heart centered and who are like minded. And so it came from me, it came from my need. And then what I started to realize, and I was very surprised by this, was that I wasn't alone in that, right? Women everywhere were feeling the exact same thing. The other thing that really surprised me was the growth at the time of the health and wellness industry, that which is still growing. At the time, it was on the tipping point of being $1 trillion industry. Now it's like 20 times that. But it surprised me that not everyone was in this, like in the same mindset, right? And but women were craving it. And so bringing them together, all of a sudden it started to fuel my purpose even more and my why even more. And it was only then that I realized that my happiness, health, and success, like that's one of the biggest reasons why my retail business didn't survive, was because my happiness, health, and success weren't at that place where they needed to be. It was like I need to pay rent this month. I need to make ends meet. I need to, versus me taking care of myself and then translating that energy into my customers, right? So much came, and I'm still surprised every day by the things that I learn and do in my business, and when I'm accomplishing goals and when I'm helping others accomplishing goals. So yeah, it never ends, right?
For sure. And I know that there are surprises, but there's a lot of intentionality. I just attended your event on the weekend, And I was using your event in one of my my business program as the model to say about this is how you set up networking. You do it in a way
Mhm.
that feels so natural, and it's even just in the way that you set up the furniture. Like you had various, if people want to sit more at tables and chairs, they were there. If they want to sit more on like a couch area, they were there. But it's like back in childcare, we would set up the centers for children so that we would optimize the traffic flow. And you did that in the space very well as master in doing that. So
Mhm.
I'm curious about the energy that I get, and mostly I interact with you online. So the energy that's online, but certainly as I felt in person at your recent event, it's positive and it's non-competitive. And
Mhm.
so I'm curious about how do you intentionally cultivate that within your community?
So I know you'll understand this fully when I say it, that it starts with my own beliefs, right? It starts with my own belief system. And I fully do feel that everything that I believe, and I just was speaking about this morning in our Authentically Connecting. John Maxwell calls it the law of the lid, right? Your business will only grow as much as you do. So if you've got a lid on your personal growth and development, that means that lid will exist in your business and in your life in every way, right? When you expand that, and I'm preaching to the queen here, but when you expand that, you open that up for expansion in every way. And so for me in my business, a lot of it has been like when I work on my business, a lot of it has been me working on my own mindset, me because I understand that that's the root of everything. And when people say, Happy Healthy Women has a vibe like no other, I take that as the biggest compliment because that's a testament to the work that I have been doing. Right? Obviously, everybody is a part of that, but I feel like I'm at the root of that, and I feel good about the changes that I've made in my own life that have transpired into this community. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And you definitely, as a leader, set the tone. And as you said, when you live it and you walk it and talk it, it's authentic, and then it just permeates all the decisions that you're making. The people that you surround yourself, whether it be an assistant or your caterer or whoever you have as part of this event, is all bought in and enrolled in that belief that you have. So it is beautiful. So let's shift gears. Your spouse, I remember before, I think it was last year, I don't know if he was the photographer, no, I forget, but I'm curious, how is your spouse part of your business, and how does his involvement impact your business?
Oh my gosh, that's such a funny question because I he's part of it in so many ways and not part of it in so many ways. So, my husband is an actor. He is a performer. We met in the world of acting, and I always say that's the best thing to ever come out of that industry for me. But he, that is an industry where you need a supportive partner, right? And you need someone who is going to understand that it is hit and miss. You're auditioning constantly, you're being rejected constantly. And it's just that kind of industry. And so the fact that we came out of that world and then I went on my own path and sort of left entertainment and went into, entrepreneurship, he totally like just jumped on board as that supporter as well. So to ask me how he's part of the business, it really is about him being 100% supportive in every single way. If I say, Jer, you have to learn how to use this camera because we need you here filming this and take it right, he will do it to the best of his ability. If I say, I need you to fill swag bags, he will be on that. Like he's just amazing in that way. So he's a big part of my business in my emotional support, which we need as women, and just to support in hands on deck whenever they need to be. And I love them for that.
Aw, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank-
And I think sometimes these aren't things that we speak about as fempreneurs, and we're independent women, but it is, if you can have that, as you said, behind the scenes, and just feeling 100% supported, then it just can go all out. So um, most of the manifestors that I've been interviewing and had on my podcast, I've noticed a trend. most of them have had some adult in their childhood who spoke into them, who
Mm.
either like gave them this bigger vision or dream, something like that. Did you have an adult that poured into you as a child?
Um, it's really interesting, Deb. I have thought about this. And I mean, I have to say, in my adolescence, I felt that the lack of empowerment as a child, to be honest with you. Um, and that's only because I had always wanted different things that everyone around me wanted for me. Do you know what I mean? Like I really followed my heart. My whole life I've been doing that. And they will call it the black sheep. I just call it knowing what I want, right? And
Right.
and going for it.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though although the people around me were wanting to empower me and wanted the best for me, it didn't always come across that way. Now I will say I have role models now that I look back on and say they shaped me as a woman for sure. um one of them being my mom, who like shaped me as an entrepreneur, as a woman, school of hard knocks for sure. But it's interesting when you ask me that question, because if I look back, that's what I think young girls really need more of, is that breathing life into them and saying you can achieve anything that you want, and yeah, be the black sheep, right? Because
Right.
that's actually a positive thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so interesting. 'Cause I even had an adult that I was speaking with the other day, and she said, I'm a bit of a disruptor, so I don't know if that's good. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what
Yeah.
people want, the person that's standing out. Otherwise, you're just conforming and going with all the rest. So that leadership is phenomenal. But you, like you said, it's about recognizing that, and especially the young girls, so that they feel that sense of worthiness, and that their ideas are unique, beautiful. So
Yeah.
at your event on Sunday, I did a couple of breakouts, and they were the Power Word Workshop. And I'm excited. I'm going to your retreat in a few weeks, the end of this month, like the beginning of March, in Prince Edward County. Are there still spots open?
There's still a couple spots. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm not exactly sure when this episode's going to drop, so but we'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I hope to do the power word there. So I'm curious, do you have a word yet for your year?
No.
I can help you with that. That's awesome. Well, let me think. Have you ever had one in the past? And do you remember what it was?
I have had one in the past. Last year my word was growth. And we did just that. We grew, we doubled in every way, in Happy Healthy Women. And so yeah, that was a good word to have. This year I haven't set one yet. So yeah, maybe you can help me with that.
Well, I'll do that at the retreat for sure. So
All
that'll
right.
be that'll be fun. So I visited you I said at the event last weekend, and you're in a very beautiful collaborative space.
Mhm.
So I work here in my home office in my basement. Sometimes I realize my poor little car hasn't left the driveway all week because I don't need to, which people are like on a commute going boo-hoo. But you choose to be in a collaborative space. I'm curious. I know that you have a home office too, because I've seen you do Zooms out of there. But what made you choose to also come to a collaborative space like you're in?
Mm. Yeah, good question. So when I first started here, it was 20, I want to say 2019. So I had gotten really used to coming here, and I just had like a casual membership out in, the areas where anyone can work. And I loved it. I loved meeting people. I loved hearing from others in terms of their businesses and things like that. And then when we got shut down, I renovated my office at home and made it so beautiful. And then, every day I was finding myself like needing to leave the house, like not wanting to leave, like just needing to, because my mindset was not in the place that I needed it to be. And so, my walks in nature and all that stuff was great. Um, but I just found that I would be in this dark place a lot of the time. And what I realized about myself was that I needed to be an environment where other people were buzzing and thriving in order for me to thrive more. Prior, when I had my space here, I had noticed a hike in my revenue just in the few months that I was here.
Hmm.
And so I remember talking to my mom on the phone, and I was just like, this was like closer to the end of the pandemic time, and I said, "Mom, I'm going to go back to the office and I'm actually going to rent my own space." And she said to me, "Are you sure that's a good idea? Right? Don't you need to get, yeah, like, she's like, I don't know what your revenue is right now, but don't you need to get back on your feet?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't think," and we're talking about this morning too. I said, "I don't think I will get back on my feet unless I stretch myself and get back into a thriving environment."
Wow.
So all I say, right? And of course, like, since I've been back in this space, we've actually tripled our revenue, which is one thing. But the other thing is, I have met people who set the bar, they raise the bar for me every single day. Like, they show up dressed beautifully, working on their business, talking about, their clients and the things that they're doing in their business. And I'm like, right, I am part of this. I am one of you and you are one of me, and we are a community. So, like, this, right? The five people we spend our time with shape our lives. And if I'm going to spend however many hours a day working, I want to spend it with people that are inspiring me, lifting me up, right? So that's the whole reason that I'm here, and I love it. And it's dog friendly, and I can bring my little Ella.
Yeah, that's right. I love seeing her on
Yeah.
the Zooms. It's so cute. And so, are there any disadvantages?
To working in the space?
Yeah.
Not at all. No. And it's just
Wow.
around the corner from where I live, so I can
Yeah.
walk here in 15 minutes.
Oh, that's so awesome. And it's a beautiful space. I didn't even know how sprawling it was until just this past weekend. And then you mentioned about getting outside and getting fit. And I, like so many of us, I think you also felt that you had a bit of a slump during COVID. And I remember, and like I saw you in person, you looked stunning and gorgeous and fit and energized. So, um, what was the catalyst for you to make that decision to go, okay, I'm getting back to this healthiest version of me,
Yeah.
which makes me happy? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. And thank you so much for that, for saying that. Yeah, I decided that this was going to be the strongest and most fit year of my life. And so, well, actually, I decided that last year, because, yeah, post pandemic. So I got into a really good groove fitness wise and health wise prior to, as you know, I'm vegan. Like, I really, really pay close attention to my health and my well-being, except I was living this like seated lifestyle for so long during the pandemic, right? And so, you know I hit 40 and I was like, oh, things are starting to shift in my body, like things are starting to be a little more flabby, and I'm not sure I like this. But I think that the biggest piece of it was, like, just feeling my balance be off, feeling my strength not be where I wanted to be, feeling like waving and feeling flab. And so these are all, we can look at these things and say that, they might be shallow, but to me, I was like, I am the person that takes care of my health. I am the person that feels fit. I am the person that feels strong. And so I just wanted strength. I didn't go back to the gym feeling like I need to lose this much weight. I actually threw out my scale years ago because I felt that it, like, made me feel crappy versus empowered me. And I said, I just really want to get stronger. I want to feel more balanced. I want to feel better. I want to feel healthier. I want to, like, climb a mountain like I did on my honeymoon. I want to do all these amazing things. And so that's what I decided. So I found this really beautiful, boutique fitness studio about 5 years ago. And it's, small group personal training, and I do that 6 days a week, and I absolutely love it. And it didn't start that way, though. It started off 3 days a week, and that was hard, and I hated it, and my body was hurting, and I fell off a riser. I think I told you this story. And I went into the washroom, I swore like a trucker, I cried, and then I got back to it because I was like, I am the person, I am a fit person, I am a strong person. And so I manifested everything that it is today, and I keep going because my goals are not, they're endless, right? Like, I have so many goals to achieve in that way.
So good. I love that you said I am a fit person, whether
Yeah.
you were feeling the reality of that at that point, you spoke into that. And then, as you said, you manifested. And that's exactly why you are a giant manifester, because I am, and so it will be, and so it is, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Can you share a story of something that has manifested into your life that you're like, whoa, that happened?
Yeah. So I will. So first off, let me backtrack with this fitness piece and say that I did your vision board course from my home because I downloaded your digital version, and I put on it a picture of this woman, like the back of her with like her arm like this and all these muscles on her back, because that was something that I was like, I don't know, like I got some stuff on my arm, but my back feels a little bit like it's not strong and my posture sucks. So I'm gonna go fix this. And that has been manifesting for me more and more and more. So thank you for that. That I owe you for. And just in terms of, the biggest thing that I have manifested, I will say it is happy, healthy women. When I was at my rock bottom, my goal every day, like was a time there, Deb, where I couldn't get out of bed. I was very depressed. I had started reading The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and I remember, doing a life purpose exercise and not liking the answer because I wasn't anywhere near the answer to that exercise. And I threw the book against the wall and I just was like in the pits of my life. And so I started to just every day say, okay, what's going to make me feel good in this moment? And I started to meditate 5 minutes a day, just in complete silence on the couch in the morning. And every day I would just do it. And it was like torture at first. And then I, got into it, got into it. And then one day I had this meditation visualization where I I just floated up to the sky, and the sky and the sun filled me with gold. And the gold flushed through my body, and I was in the sky floating, and I had my hands like out, and out of each fingertip was a stream of gold flowing out of each fingertip. And then my vision panned down, and it was millions of women that this gold from my fingertips was touching. And it was
Oh,
like gold liquid that was just reaching all of these women. I was like, I don't know what this vision is. A happy, healthy woman wasn't even a thing yet, right? But I said, I feel like I am here for more. And that vision has stuck with me now for 12 years. And now I can see that it has manifested, it continues to manifest. But I guess my biggest message there is never think of these visualizations as nothing, right? They're not just fluff, right? They are big. They are big.
for sure. And just listening to you and seeing your face and the feeling the energy as you describe that, I could feel it in my body. And so, what's next for you?
So yeah, and I've said this a few times today because it's so interesting. They were asking me this morning, so Nat, what's your vision? What's next? And I said, I want to take this global. I need to know, I need to figure out what it takes. I need to move through what it takes to make this a global community. Truthfully, we have members from different parts of the world joining us, which is great, but we have the gift of physical branches that allow women to come together in person and connect in person and then be part of our larger global virtual community. So my goal is to really start to open up and see physical branches in more countries and in more cities. And I believe in my heart that it is going to start in the US because we've got some great members that we're going to talk about it. But to branch out from there as well.
Ah, I can see that. And like the sun and the rays, it just covers like the whole world. So I mean, just different times of the 24 hours, but amazing. So it makes me think, you've mentioned Jack Canfield and he says ask the ask. So like what's the ask then, that how can people help you with this vision, this mission of yours to go global? What could they do?
Oh, I love that. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. So if anyone who hears this and is listening knows women who have a leadership quality within them, that they want to expand, that they want to grow, that they're, it's the woman who was always the one in high school to like get everybody together, right? The vice president of student council, the president of student council, or the one who was just, gathering the tribes. I'm looking for those women all over the world. So if you know of those women in different areas of the world, put them in touch with me and we can make this happen.
I love that. I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, that's me. I used to do that at high school. I used to organize trips to Canada's Wonderland for our high school.
Yeah, Deb, it is
Yeah, that
you.
was me at 17. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's so awesome. Well, Natalie, this has just been amazing. I'm just so happy that we became colleagues and friends, and I'm part of Happy Healthy Women. And I'm excited to be part of your vision and mission to see this go global. So thank you so much for being here. Is there any last words, and how can people get a hold of you?
Find me on Instagram. I'm on there quite a bit. And if you love 80s, I have like a little passion for 80s music and 80s movies. And so I kind of drop that into my content every once in a while to make it fun. But find me there or at hhwglobal.com. And yeah, let's get in touch. I'm always available for a chat. So reach me through the website.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thanks, Deb.
Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this. Flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers. This course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbiesluice.com, and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.